What is up, veterans and military? Hey, back again. Today we're going to be talking about sleep apnea, how to get it service connected on a direct as well as a secondary basis. I made this video before, however, I wanted to clean that video up and make something more quality for y'all. So tune in, let's get into it. So what is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is a sleep disorder in which an individual breathing starts and stops while they're sleeping. Now, in order to get this diagnosed and get treated for it, you got to seek medical treatment. You got to complain about it. You got to, go to medical. If your spouse or your significant other or friends and family, they've complained about you snoring, those are early signs of sleep apnea. Signs and symptoms are, daytime sleepiness. You're falling asleep at work while you drive and things of this nature. In order to get service connected, first, you're going to start with, you need a sleep study. In order to get a sleep study, you need to complain to your doctor, like, hey, you're having sleep issues. You're snoring. It feels like you're choking in your sleep. You're waking up many times throughout the night and stuff like that. If you get your spouse, significant other, friends or family to corroborate with you, if need be, in order to have that sleep study scheduled for you, I suggest you do so. Hey, get it in. Following this, the VA, or while you're in, regardless of anything, the doctor, they're going to schedule you for a sleep study. You're either going to do an in-facility sleep study or you're going to do a take-home sleep study. It's pretty much, this machine connects all across your body. They'll hook it up to you. You'll have a breathing machine, something that goes around your nose. And then, you'll fucking take care of it from there. So, with that, once you get the results in, after that test, it's going to determine if you have sleep apnea or not. And if you do have sleep apnea, it's going to see if you're on the mild to moderate or if you're on the severe side of things. If you're on the more severe cases, they'll more than likely wake you up in the middle of the examination. Like, yeah, you got sleep apnea. We're going to get you the treatment you need, as well as give you this, CPAP machine. Now you have a diagnosis. Now, your next question should be, how can I get this service connected? Now, if you have in-service complaints of sleep disturbances, you just need one complaint. You don't need continued, you don't need 100 complaints. You don't need all this medical evidence. If you're trying to seek direct service, you just need one complaint of sleep disturbances or sleep issues anywhere during your time in the military. Following that, that's your in-service complaint. Now you already have your diagnosis, which you got from your sleep study. If you require the use of a CPAP machine, it'll be there on your documentation as well. This is what the VA likes to look for if you're trying to get 50% for sleep apnea. If it's recommended that you have a CPAP machine, then it'll still be on your files and records and stuff like that. However, it's going to be a gamble between if the VA is going to give you 30% or 50%. Just depends on the rater. Now, the rater could just give you 30% because your documentation and everything, it doesn't say you require the use. It's recommended because your sleep apnea, yes, we identify you have a disability. However, it's not severe enough to where you are required to use a CPAP machine. Okay. Personal statement. You got to have a good personal statement. I recommend doing a personal statement with your sleep apnea claim, whether you file direct or secondary. This gives the VA rater as well as the CMP examiner a clear, articulate story and description of your symptomology, history, issues you've been dealing with over years. It's going to show this. It's going to paint a picture. Your symptoms. When did it start? If it started in service. Hey, how many times has it affected? Is it a daily thing that affects you? What is the long-lasting effects? Work, obviously. You're not getting sufficient sleep at night. And this is causing you to be less proficient at work. It could be causing you to go in late to work and things of that nature. And if you have all of this, you could definitely file for direct service. Now, let's get into secondary. If you're seeking on a secondary basis, you don't have to build that far back. You just got to start with whatever disability that you're trying to secondary sleep apnea off of. Now, most commonly claimed disabilities that people file sleep apnea secondary to will be rhinitis, sinusitis, asthma, anything upper respiratory. The disabilities as well as diseases that you already have service connected, it's an easy avenue for sleep apnea. As well as some people, PTSD. I've seen it done. And, mild to moderate amount of veterans, they get service connected secondary to that. I rarely see, but I have seen some veterans, they fought for sleep apnea secondary to tinnitus. I've seen very far and few in between claims get adjudicated for that. It's a long stretch. Your medical evidence really needs to support that link, and it's very hard to do that. You're better off trying to go direct or secondary off of an upper respiratory issue that you already have service connected. And from that point, the main issue for secondary conditions is that your medical evidence showing that there's a direct correlation and causation, saying, okay, your asthma is all, whenever you have asthma attacks, let's get, who diagnosed you for asthma, as well as he's treating you for it, see if they can build medical evidence on top of that, possibly get you in on a monitor sleep study on those days in which you're having like an asthma attack, just to build that medical evidence. You have firsthand evidence of a doctor who's been treating you for asthma as well as sleep apnea, and they're putting the two together, building the medical evidence. As well as, write your personal statement. If you just go to the VA and, just put in a claim on eBenefits or va.gov saying, I'm filing this secondary to tinnitus or whatever the hell. 9 times out of 10, if you've submitted nothing but that, no diagnosis, no further medical evidence, nothing else that can corroborate your claims for that secondary or for that direct service, the VA going to look at it, and it's a coin toss. It's a coin toss. It is a coin flip. And at that point, the VA is either going to send you to a CMP exam to get further information, or they're just going to deny your claim, close it out, because you didn't supply sufficient medical evidence or anything in order to get past just the submission stage. So you want to put yourself in the best position possible when filing for these claims, especially for sleep apnea, because sleep apnea is one of those claims that are highly denied. I was actually denied back in 2018. I had everything except my personal statement wasn't articulate. I had in-service complaint. I had a current diagnosis of sleep apnea. I required the use because my sleep apnea was mild to severe. And my early stages of doing personal statements, it was trash. It was like, I snore, I do this in my sleep. It wasn't articulate. I didn't say when was the onset, when did it start, what time in service. Yes, I had an in-service complaint, but I relied on the VA to do their homework, do the research to help vets. But they're not out here to help vets. They're out here to, process. It's a numbers game. So if you can make your number a lot easier, a lot articulate, and a best position when putting in these claims. And until next time, if y'all like this type of content, y'all know what to do. I ain't got to keep telling y'all, do I? Stick it.